All right, now we are live from Stockholm University, and we're going to do this in English, given that we have lots of international students joining us online today, and a few of them are here at the Stockholm University as well. And I'm super excited about the coming session here. We have Anna from LinkedIn, and she will talk about how to rock your profile. And I can tell you, I work as an employer. I've employed quite a lot of people, and LinkedIn is very, very important. I never hire anyone if they don't have a LinkedIn profile. So if you want a job from me, you need to have a LinkedIn profile. And I always look at the LinkedIn profile before I make a decision if I'm going to hire a person or not. So LinkedIn is it's crucial. If you want a good career and a job in Sweden, then I would definitely say that you need a LinkedIn account, and you can use LinkedIn in quite many ways. I use it quite a lot to build my own personal brand and the company brand as well. But obviously, a lot of people are using it in order to be attracted towards employers. So now you're going to get some really good advice from Anna on how to rock your profile. So, stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Matthias, for a great introduction. Really happy to be here, and thank you everyone joining here and also everyone online. Just for starters, Anna, I work at LinkedIn as account director here in Stockholm from a Stockholm office. And super happy to be here today and to tell you a little bit more about how to use LinkedIn to kickstart your career. Let's get started. So a little bit on the agenda for today. We're going to be speaking about, well, first of all, what is LinkedIn compared to other social networks that you may be already using, just to understand and compare. We also will speak about defining your professional brand. What is it like compared to your personal brand, so to say? How to build your LinkedIn profile, just some tips and tricks around how to optimize it and make it more visible for employers. I will also give some tips on building your professional network as well, and what you can make out of it, basically what's the value you can get. And then I will finish with some job search tips and how you actually take the next step in your career with the help of the LinkedIn platform. So, I have my most favorite analogy here, and bear with me while I go through it. I hope it will be worth it, or I'm sure it will be worth it. So just to kind of set the scene and compare LinkedIn to other social platforms you might be using, what you do on other social media. Facebook, and we take donuts as an analogy here. So yeah, it is what it is. Facebook, I like donuts. Snapchat, watch me eat a donut. Instagram, here's a cool photo of my donut. Pinterest, here's a donut recipe. Spotify, I'm listening to donuts. That's got to be funny. And WhatsApp, anyone want a donut? So with that, what would you do at LinkedIn? And this is where you would really adapt a professional mindset and say things like, I hope to operate a donut franchise one day. I'm looking for a job at a donut company. I have 3 years of experience making donuts. My top skills are donut production and sales. Here are 3 recommendations from our former colleagues. So just to set the scene, basically professional mindset versus really anything else is what LinkedIn is all about. And therefore with that professional mindset, it's all about building your professional network and connecting yourself to opportunity. And of course, if you're early in your career and maybe you want to kickstart your career and get a job, that can be one of those opportunities, but there can be other opportunities like that. Maybe you want to work as freelancer, or maybe you want to meet your next business partner. LinkedIn also can be a place for that. Just to give you an example on the scale of the platform, well, we have 900 million members on our platform today, and it's constantly growing. And 50 million employers are actually hiring through LinkedIn's platform on a daily basis. And there are millions of jobs open every day. So it's worth it to try it out and to see that maybe there's an opportunity there for you. Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about defining your professional brand. It really is about who are you, and it really is about your promise to those around you. So it tells people what they can expect from working with you or partnering up with you in some way. And it also shows how you're unique from other people. So you can also, and this is very important, actually shape your professional brand by the way you present yourself to others. So it can, for example, be, well, part of your professional brand is the things you say on your profile in terms of what skills you have, what kind of network you have, who you know, basically, as well as any areas of expertise and wisdom that you may possess. So this is one side of it. But the other side of it is also not just who you are now, but also who you want to be in the future. And I think this is even more crucial when you're at the start of your career, is kind of think about that aspect. What am I actually passionate about, so to say, what I care about, and who I want to be. And it's also, therefore, your LinkedIn is also a way, or your LinkedIn profile is a place where you can showcase your values, things that are important to you and give meaning to your life, as well as your professional goals, but maybe also even with a personal twist as well sometimes. So what do you want to be in 2, 10, or 30 years? So two aspects, what you are now and what you want to be in the future. And there is another very practical reason to why you would want to have a good, well built out LinkedIn profile. And that's because it will help you show up first in Google search results. So if someone is searching by your name on Google, actually the LinkedIn profile, if you have a good one, if there is enough information on it, is one of the first things that will show up in the results. So it really helps you with the visibility, not only as to LinkedIn itself, but also kind of internet overall. Now, let's talk a little bit about the profile itself and what you should or should not maybe have on your profile. So just some tips and tricks. First of all, you own your LinkedIn profile. It is your profile and it's your story. So it is also for you to define. There is no exact right or wrong in terms of how you should be presenting yourself, apart from we recommend you to be professional. But it is up to you, as I said, to define, to think about, reflect about your professional brand and how you want other people to perceive you, and kind of start there and build your profile based on that, with that in mind. My tip number one, and I know that it's a very, very basic one if you think about it, and yet we still see quite a few members that are not doing it, is adding a picture to your LinkedIn profile. Why is it so important? Actually, members with profile photos receive up to 20 times more profile views and 9 times more connection requests. So it really helps you with the visibility. And it's kind of this, just putting the real face of a person onto your profile is something that matters a lot when other people are checking you out. And a tip on how the photo should look like is, something that you see on the slide here for sure. I think good to keep in mind to show your face, basically. Maybe face with torso maximum. And smile is positive, of course. But in general, think about how do you look at work, right? When someone is working with you, how would you look like? And take a picture of that kind of person, of that version of you. So that's my best tip when it comes to the picture. And we don't recommend a selfie or a photo with someone else or your pets. There are other platforms for that, and we love them and we use them, but maybe LinkedIn is more for your professional stuff. Yeah, and then when it comes to editing your profile, you can always add more sections if you haven't done that already. So whenever you simply go to your profile, you can press more, or you can press add section simply. and decide what you want to add. So if you're not finding something already on your LinkedIn profile, just add the section first and it will be there, then you fill it in. And it can be anything from location and industry you work in or you would like to be working in, to your work or internship experience, volunteer experience, and things like that. As well as, of course, education, certifications, and skills that you have. And just kind of a very important, from my point of view, tip that I always give is whenever you adding information on your profile, think about keywords. Because LinkedIn, just like everything on the internet, runs on keywords, right? I mean, this is the information. This is information about you that if you don't add on your profile, no one will ever know. For example, if you are a rock star digital marketeer, but you didn't write anything about it on your profile, no one will ever find you based on that. So do add things you know, do add things you, basically your skills. And think what keywords are related to my skills that other people are using, so that also what you're adding in terms of keywords is something that other people easily use and understand. So for example, a recruiter looking for a person similar to you would use that exactly same word. So think about standard words as well, in a way, if you see what I mean. Yeah, and then I wanted to mention, just to say a few words about the professional headline. Your professional headline is something that shows up, well, right under your picture. It's not your job title, but rather a very, very one-line summary of you. It can be your job title if you want that to edit this way. But essentially, it is a good chance to showcase yourself to people checking out your profile, because this is really the number one thing anyone sees, except for your name and picture, when you show up in search results. And then ask yourself, is this something that I would like other people to see when they check out my profile, basically? Is this how I want to be presented? Is this delivering a message of how I want to present my professional brand? So that's a really good starting point. And well, you can see some examples here of the different headlines. I hope that it's also visible online as well. So maybe you can get some inspiration. And also, I say whenever you're in doubt of what to do when it comes to building out your profile, just check out the profiles of people you know who you think have a good one, and just get some inspiration from there. That's a really good and simple thing to do. And then a very important part of your LinkedIn profile is your professional summary. And in the English version of LinkedIn, it's called About, this section. And if you haven't added that to your profile yet, I really recommend you to do that. This is the section where, and especially if you're a student and you don't have so much work experience yet, but you're actually looking into entering the job market, this is a perfect place for you to show what you're interested in and where your passions and interests are. So this is where you can write that for example, I am a student pursuing this and that degree. I am interested in getting a job in I don't know, information technology, digital marketing, whichever keywords and ideas you have in mind, whatever applies to you, environment, write it there. Because again, this is a way to add the keywords to your profile. Maybe you don't have those skills yet, but you're clearly writing that you're interested in that. So whenever a recruiter will be looking for a young professional with certain interests, this is actually a way for you to show up in their results and to showcase those interests. So yeah. And yeah, a good recommendation here that you see on my slide is that you can start with one or two sentences about who you are, 3 to 5 sentences about your experience, skills, and passions, and 1 or 2 sentences to finish off about your future goals and how other members can engage with you, maybe how to contact you, basically. So if you want to talk with me, do this. Yeah. So that's a recommendation, but of course, I mean, there's no no really a template or pattern that is a must. It's your profile and it's your story. Yeah, and now let's also talk about building your professional network. So, well, we live in a digital age and all that. Yes, we do. And that said, it's still good to know that 50% of hires these days still result from a personal connection. It can be that you got that connection digitally via LinkedIn, via some other channel. Maybe you wrote someone an email, yes, but it will still be a real person referring you. So actually getting recommendations from other people or being referred is a great way to take yourself further in your career. Think about that. And I also want to kind of explain how LinkedIn's network works. Actually, every network works like that when it comes to people. People are connected to each other, other people are connected to other people, one way or the other. Maybe you heard about this theory of 4 handshakes, that you have to literally, every person in this world, there are only 4 handshakes that separate you, or what is it, 4 degrees of separation? It is what it is. So with that, when you know some people, those people will know some people, and those people will know some people too. And this is how it works. And on LinkedIn, you can actually see, well, of course, you can see who your first degree connections are, but then you can see who your second degree connections are. Or for example, when you're checking out someone's profile, you will be able to see that they are your second degree connection, and these are the people you have in common. So this is an opportunity you can utilize to get introduced, for example, to someone you don't know yet. And why are these people so interesting to get in touch with is actually that their network is more diverse than yours. They simply know other people than you. And very often, and it's something also we see on LinkedIn in our data and statistics, that these kind of second degree connections can play a bigger role when it comes to referring you and getting you a job than your first degree connections. Because your first degree connections are people you already know. Maybe you already asked them 1,000 times, but you haven't reached out to those second degree connections yet. So also a tip to think about is who you know who can introduce you to someone else. And of course, you can use LinkedIn's platform as well to reach out to other people and to your, for example, to your second degree connections. You can add them and write in the invitation a short message, or you can write them an email. And here's a small example of that, where you can explain, I found your profile through a mutual connection. This is our mutual connection. And I'm really impressed by your credentials, or I'm really interested in working for the company you're working for. Could you maybe help me out? Or I would love to connect, something like that. And I know that, or before we jump into this, I know that sometimes it can be like scary to reach out to someone you don't know. But as a matter of fact, I believe 60% of members on LinkedIn say that they have someday referred someone in their current company to work for. People recommend each other, people help out. And when you reach out to them in the right way, in a, so to say, nice way, in a meaningful way, they're actually more open to help than you would ever guess. There is a My Network tab on your LinkedIn profile that you can always explore. And this is where you can explore people you might know. And LinkedIn will be smarter and smarter every new connection you add. It will learn from your network and think, okay, maybe you know these people, and it will be better and better recommending more people to you. So I recommend, like, at certain frequency to sometimes go in and check out that tab as well. And of course, you can always start with, adding your friends and family, and then maybe current and former colleagues or people you study with, and then so on and so forth. So as a starting point, it's that. But of course, it's all about, also expanding it at some stage when you meet more people in your life, as simple as that. Yeah, you can also, of course, search for new connections simply from the search bar. That is also something you can do. And there's different filters you can use. Maybe you've already tried that. And then we get this question quite often when it comes to, okay, so, but who should I be reaching out on LinkedIn when it comes to the people I don't know, apart from, my actual connections? We can think about it like that. People you have something in common with, people who have a job at a company that is interesting to you, people who may be able to connect you with someone who can help you achieve your goals. So you can think about it a little bit strategically. And what should you say when you're reaching out? Well, who you are, how you came across their profile, and how can they help you. There's no rocket science. It's very simple, and it actually gives results. Yeah, and there's several ways of how you can reach out to people. You can message your connections, just write them a message with something exact. You can ask people for something like an informational interview. You can request a referral, maybe if you know this person a little bit better, or request a recommendation that they can actually add on LinkedIn profile, on your profile. And simply you can add value and engage, based on a certain topic of interest. Actually, another statistic that we see on our platform is that the LinkedIn members who are referred are 4 times more likely to get hired. So again, referrals, referrals, referrals. Especially in early career, I think it's powerful. How you can ask for an informational interview. And by informational interview, I mean just connect with the person and maybe get them to share either some tips or tricks on starting your career, or some tips and tricks on joining your organization, and things like that. And you can just write something. I mean, I have this template here that you can use as an inspiration. Something like, hi, whatever the name is the person, I'm exploring careers in this area, communications in this case, and I admire your experience in this industry. I would love to connect with you for 20 minutes to talk and learn from you, basically. People are more receptive to this kind of message than you would guess, even if you don't know them. You can, of course, also request referrals. So basically say, I see this job at your company. I would love to, if you could share some information about it. I'm really interested in applying. And then maybe you can have a conversation, and those people sometimes maybe can also refer you based on the results of that dialogue, even if you don't know them. I mean, if you know them, of course, it's a different ballgame. And requesting recommendations is something that you can do whenever you just go to the person's profile and then you click more, and there you can choose the option request recommendation, and then they will see that coming into their LinkedIn, and they can write something about you that you can later add on your profile, again, to add yourself some credibility. Yeah, and just to summarize all of these tips about building a network, I think I'd say it really pays off to invest some time into building your connections. It is worth it. It is also worth it if you actually look up the person before reaching out to them. So really, understand what are they about? What is interesting to them? Maybe they're even looking to hire someone into their team that you don't even know about. And kind of make that reach out that you're doing personalized, right? So they understand you're contacting them specifically and not just anyone. You can, of course, on LinkedIn, like and share things that other people are posting. You can make your own posts and add your own insights. That is also a great way to kind of add your self-visibility whenever you post something. Obviously, your connections see what you post. They can also share it. If they engage with that, their connections will see it once again. So basically, if you're adding value with your thoughts, for example, or with your ideas to your network, or whatever information you're sharing, there's more chance that people will react and pick it up. Yeah, and there is this other section that I wanted to focus on today. and that is searching for jobs, internships, and schools on LinkedIn. So basically, job searching tips first and foremost. One thing, and maybe you have already checked it out before, is that you always have the opportunity on LinkedIn to show that you're open to work. When you do that on your profile, and it really comes from the place right under your profile picture, there is just this button, open to. So open to work will, and then you can choose if you want this green badge that says you're open to work, so that's visible to all members on LinkedIn, or if you want to only show to recruiters, so people using the tool called LinkedIn Recruiter, hiring through LinkedIn, that you're open to work. That's your options. Sometimes maybe if you're looking to change jobs, you're not ready to like openly say you're actually looking, but you want to be visible in search results for recruiters, that's a way to go. So you can choose between these options. And also LinkedIn will ask you what kind of roles you're looking for, what kind of, is it full-time or an internship, and what kind of employment it is. Do fill that in, because that also helps recruiters when they look you up to understand, okay, this person is open to work, what roles are they looking for? So add some things there. Also add the locations you're open to. Are you open to relocate? All that matters for how you show up in their search results. And then, of course, apart from waiting for other people to talk to you, you can explore the career opportunities by yourself. So there is section called jobs on LinkedIn, and you probably already checked it out. The first jobs that will show up in front of you actually will be taken out in terms of the match from what matches best your LinkedIn profile. So another reason to have a great profile that actually matches what you are professionally and what you want to be is because you will be recommended correct jobs, so to say. So think about that. And then, of course, when you are looking for companies, you can for jobs at certain companies, you can search per company as well. So there's different options. Actually, I'm running a little bit ahead of myself. Let me get to my slides first. Yeah, but I just also wanted to say that there's a lot of people, 52 million people, who come to LinkedIn to search for jobs. So LinkedIn's jobs is a very, very vibrant ecosystem. And we also see members every second getting hired on our platform. It is actually a lot of people who get hired. So it is, again, it can really help you. It is worth it. Yeah, so speaking of searching for career opportunities, again, in that jobs tab, you can also give the different parameters for the jobs you're interested in. Anything from location, job titles, certain companies, and things like that. So again, up to you what you want to look for. But the search engine is there for you, and you can explore the jobs. And there are literally millions of them every day. Yeah, and this is something I wanted to mention as well, that you can create job alerts for the specific parameters that you give. So once you have made a job search, for example, customer success manager in Stockholm, then you can actually save that, and then you will be notified whenever a new job that matches your criteria comes up. So you can be one of the first applying, which is also a little bit of an advantage sometimes in the application process. You can also set job alerts per company. So you can go to the company page on LinkedIn, so for example, Microsoft, and you can click on their jobs and again, filter them by, for example, your location or something like that. Or global if you're open to relocate or whatever is applicable to you. And this is where you also can set a job alert that will again notify you about all of the Microsoft jobs appearing that are relevant to you. So also a great way to keep track of the companies you're actually really interested in. Yeah, so I think this is the most important parts. Actually, I wanted to also mention the following companies, because that's another way to kind of stay updated about the employers of interest. So once again, here is Starbucks on my slide as an example. So you can go, for example, to the page of the company you're interested in and press follow, and then you will see all of the updates from that company in your feed, which is also, when you hopefully get to the stage of an interview with them, is a great way to stay updated and know more about that company and what kind of talent they're looking for, and news about their industry and so on. And another section that is actually very few people know about it is the alumni section. So all universities, just as companies do, they have a page on LinkedIn. So if you go to Stockholm University page, I guess, since we're here on campus today, or if you're from somewhere else, then to your school or your university page, there will be a tab called Alumni on that page. So you can actually go in there, and for one thing, you can explore some statistics about the alumni. Where are they located right now? Where are they working? What companies and so on. So maybe there will be companies that you are interested in as well. And then it will also show you the actual people behind this. So maybe there's people they already, graduated a few years ago, build a career. Obviously, if you have the same alma mater, people are even more open to recommend you potentially and help you out. So yeah, use that. It's a great way to build your network as well. So I think this is it from me for today.
Big hands of applause for Anna. Thank you, Anna.
Thank you.
Really, really interesting, and also a lot of news for me. I didn't know about the alumni section, so I need to check it out. We actually went to the same school. We realized earlier as well. So both studied at Stockholm School of Economics, close to Stockholm University. So yeah. Let's see. Do we have any questions from the audience here at the university, Anna? All right, we have lots of questions from the people joining online.
Yeah.
One comment from me is also, I think it was really good that you mentioned the about section, and not only to talk about what you have been doing, but you actually can talk about what you want to do in the future, especially if you are a student, like the majority of the people joining here today are. It's good to tell your employers what you actually want to work with, and that it also helps you to show up with the search results for recruiters. So that was a really valuable advice. Then we have, I don't know if you know this, but how many students are active on LinkedIn? Do you keep track of that?
Oh, yeah. Actually, a lot, and also more than you think. I think the last time I looked at the statistics, there was like 48 million students. And the student population on LinkedIn has been growing really rapidly recently. I don't have it in my head, but something I do remember is it was growing really fast.
Yeah. And you can actually also, you can go into the Virtual Career Days platform, and LinkedIn have a booth there. So you can also go to the booth and ask questions in the booth. And you also have that you can win 10 premium accounts as well. So if you go onto the platform, obviously you are already in the platform, you're joining online, so you can look for LinkedIn's booth and then go to the section where you actually can get a premium account. So there are 10 premium accounts that you give away for free for 6 months. And then you get access to all the LinkedIn Learning library.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's LinkedIn Learning, all of the courses to upskill yourself, maybe prepare for interviews or whatever could be relevant in your case. Also, some more statistics on career, finding jobs, how you rank compared to other applicants. More emails to reach out and ask for recommendations, for example, and connect to other people. So yeah, some great features that you can actually utilize.
Yeah, and here's another question. If I want to work for a specific employer, should I send connection requests to people working there? Would that be your recommendation?
So I'd say, again, no right or wrong, but if you feel like you see a person that could actually really help you and they are in the role maybe or in the team that you're interested in, absolutely. I do recommend not just add them, but also write a short message, because there's always this message option when you add someone. As to why you're contacting them. You can say, I admire your company and I would love, to follow, to be in your network, to learn from you, for example, or things like that. So not just add. I don't think that's just maybe that's gonna give you less results, as simple as that, but motivate that somehow to them.
Yeah, good advice. Then we have a question here regarding how many of the users are active in posting things. Do you know that? And is there a general recommendation? How often should you make posts?
Yeah, so I don't have a statistic on that when it comes to how often people post, actually, but absolutely recommendations on how frequently. As a matter of fact, you should be posting frequently if you want to build kind of engagement and more people to get connected with and so on. So anything from 3 times a week to every other day, I'd say, is actually pretty good. But I would also say, like, if you just feel like you need to post for the sake of posting, you don't have to do that, right? So I rather think about, okay, maybe today I want to post about my university. Tomorrow I want to post about my project that I did or something like that. So kind of think about it a little bit. I have a colleague, or former colleague actually, who she decided to make herself a schedule, and she does like this. One day, for example, Monday, I believe, she posts about someone she meets for lunch, and like a colleague or a former colleague, someone she knows, and she lifts them up and celebrates them.
Fantastic.
Another day, she posts about her company. Third day, she posts about some other insight from the industry she learned. So she kind of has topics, and she's been actually growing her network a lot since then. So that could be one way to go.
Yeah. Then I have a question here as well. Does the company get notified when you save their job on LinkedIn? Otherwise, before you've actually applied for the job.
Yes, actually, if you or it depends. If you click apply on LinkedIn, there is always a pop-up that will say, is it okay to share your profile with the employer? So in that case, yes. If you click there, okay, then it will be shared. Then also, there will be a new feature on the company pages soon, like literally really soon. And that one will be show interest. So if you kind of sign up there, employers will be able to see you in a special folder in their tools that they use to hire. So yeah, I recommend to do that. It's like an open application, I guess, but yeah, always helps.
Yeah, yeah. And you also mentioned the importance of having recommendations. But I know that a lot of students and people feel like it's challenging to ask for the recommendation. Do you have any advice to get the courage to ask for a
Yeah.
recommendation?
Of course. No, first of all, I mean, think about it being meaningful, right? Not just ask a random person for a recommendation. Of course, that doesn't make sense. But maybe it's someone who you had a project with, or maybe like a corporate partner, and you went there and did a project together. Why not to reach out to that person? Or your teacher, your professor at the university, maybe one of them who you had like a great relationship with, you feel like you learned a lot and maybe you did well in their class. Ask them. I don't see anything wrong about reaching out to a person when it's in a meaningful way. And as I mentioned before, members on LinkedIn are actually really eager to help.
Yeah, I think that's great finishing words. If we don't have any more questions from the audience here at Stockholm University. No, perfect. I just want to say thank you so much, Anna. And I don't think we need to ask you where to find you, because we know we can find you on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And also you can now go into the LinkedIn booth. They will be there until 2:00 today. You can ask questions, and as I said, you can join the possibilities of winning this premium account. You can also download this great presentation as well, how to rock your profile.
Yeah, and I think there's also some tip sheets there if you want something shorter and so on. So yeah, you can utilize that.
Thank you so much, Anna. Big
Thank
hands of
you.
applause.